G'day, I'm Nigel here from Aussie Tune, and in the workshop today I have a Audi Q2 that was in for losing coolant. So I previously diagnosed it as losing coolant. So today I'm going to show you how I go about doing it and what's the process I use to replace it. So yeah, here we go. I'm just going to pull the gas cover off, the housing off. Intake ducting. Our battery for some more room. I like to pull the battery tray out. Just holding the harness onto the tray, keeping the this big assembly here is the pump itself, so we've got to pull a series of hoses off. So here, 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 here. We can remove this breather out of the way, we can access to the cover, remove that, and then we have access to the pump housing bolts, which we'll undo. So pop the camera down. Another thing that I like to do, just on top of the transmission, just here, if yours is a DSG, is a little breather or an access port to the clutches. I like to cover that with a bit of plastic. It just stops coolant running into the transmission. Probably wouldn't be an issue, but for the sake of a bit of plastic, I think it's pretty easy. Trusty clip pliers, start pulling hoses off. Just a little hook to break the seal. unclip the harness from the pump cover, the belt cover. Pretty much everything is a T30. And there's our drive. So unhook our harness. There's a series of bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, directly underneath, 5, and again, just T30s. They are all the same length, so you don't need to worry about what goes where. Slip our belt off, and out she comes. So now we're ready for the new pump. And the way I like to put them on is when we've got the belt on, and I just pinch it with my fingers around the pulley, so I know it's sitting where it needs to go. I just grab it, slide it into place. Can be a little bit fiddly. And then we're in. Just hand feed the bolts in. There it is. Just want to make sure the belt is on and lined up with the pulley down the bottom as well, which it is. Then we're just going to do up our bolts about 85% of the way. Because now we've got to tension the belt. So the way that's done, just here is a little hex that you put an Allen key driver in. It sits in there like so. Just got to fight the hoses out of the way, and it slots in there. And using our torque wrench set to 30 Newton meters, we're going to crank clockwise on that thing. And it puts a bit of tension. So we've got the tension. We just do one of our bolts up, and that'll be enough to hold it nice and tight. Go around and do them all up. And that is pump on. If you wanted for added peace of mind, you could hand crank the engine around once or twice and make sure the belt's lined up and tight. I'm pretty confident that it's right, so I'm not going to do that. Putting the clamps back on, I like to line it up in the original grooves, just you're less likely to have a leak. Probably should have done this hose first. Belt cover back on. I like how they have these little spots for the harness to clip in, means it's nice and neat. Alright, that is the pump fitted with the belt tension all done. Now we just got to put our battery tray and battery back in and fill it up with coolant. I do love this little impact gun, it makes life so much faster and easier. Now fill the housing back on. Grab the clamps with the clamp pliers. And the final part is fill it up with coolant and run it to bleed the cooling system. Normally to speed the process up I would use a vacuum bleeder, which basically fills the cooling system up way faster, but I cannot find where I've left the adapter for this car, so we'll have to do it the old-fashioned way. And that, once we've let it warm up and we've bled all the air out of the system, is how it's done. I pressure tested at the end, but in a nutshell, that's how we replace the water pump, or how I replace the pump, on an Audi Q2 with a 1.4 petrol in it. So thanks for watching.